Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent leads video. So, first of all, please remember to donate to Palestine. Second of all, I'm trying my best to get all of my videos captioned, so I'm really sorry that some of my videos haven't been captioned as of late. I'm trying my best, so if this video isn't captioned, it will be soon. I know that soon is a very vague statement, but I'm trying my best, so it will come as quickly as possible if this video isn't already automatically captioned. So, the first book on this list is called Phoenix Flame. If you didn't know, this is the sequel to Havenfall, which I read last week and I rated 4 stars, and I was really expecting to really like this book as well, but however, I ended up not really enjoying this book as much as the first book. I ended up rating this book 3.5 stars, because even though I enjoyed the plot, it was still fast-paced and action-packed, and the world building was still inventive and still well done. I wasn't as emotionally connected to the characters anymore, and I can't really pinpoint why. I started to become more and more ambivalent about all of them, and then that ambivalence turned into dislike for some of them, like especially her love interest. I started to actually dislike him, which frankly doesn't happen very often. When I'm reading a book, what happens is that typically I either really like the main characters, or I like them, or I'm ambivalent. It's actually quite rare that I actually dislike a character. So anyway, I ended up rating this book 3.5 stars because I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, because I wasn't as emotionally connected to the characters as I was anymore. So I'm not quite sure if I would actually recommend this book, and I know that I won't be reading any more books by the author in the future if she continues to write series. So anyway, there's that. The next book on this list is called Made You Up. This book is a YA contemporary following a high school senior who has schizophrenia, so she can't tell the difference between real life and delusions. And if you didn't know, this book is written by the same author who wrote Eliza and Her Monsters, which is one of my favorite books, so I had very high expectations before going into this book, and honestly, this book lived up to those expectations. This book is literally so good. I ended up rating it 5 stars because there's nothing I would change about this book, and this book is so good. First of all, I was so emotionally connected to the main character. I think that she is such a wonderful, lovely, well-developed, distinct main character. Second of all, the plot was so intriguing and it was so well done. Francesca Zappia is such a talented author, and I think this book deserves just as much hype as Eliza and Her Monsters. The romance was so well developed and it was so well done. The mental health representation was so good. This book is literally so good. Like I said before, there's nothing that I would change about it. So I rated it 5 stars, and I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Monstrous Design, and guess what? I also rated this book 5 stars because it was absolutely so amazing. For those who don't know, this is the sequel to Dangerous Remedy, and this book is the second book in a YA historical fantasy trilogy, and I'm so excited to read the third book. I'm more excited to read the third book in this trilogy than I was to read this one because I have so much higher expectations. This book was absolutely so good. First of all, the plot was so action-packed and it was so fast-paced. Second of all, the world building was so immersive and it was so inventive, and the writing was so well done. Third of all of the characters are so well developed and they're so distinct, and all of the multiple perspectives worked well together, and the cliffhanger ending, like, come on, this book is so good. Every single element of the story was so well done. The romance, the characters, the plot, the setting, the world building. This book is so excellent, and it's so underrated. This trilogy deserves so much more hype, and like I said, I'm so excited to read the third book in this trilogy. I'm assuming that it's coming out next year, but I'm not completely sure about that because it's not even on Goodreads yet. Like, there's no title, there's no release date. I only know that it's a trilogy because Kat Dunn answered a question on Goodreads saying that Dangerous Remedy is the first in a trilogy, so that's how I know. But Anyway, I'm so excited to read it because I know that it's going to be absolutely amazing, because this book was absolutely amazing, and like I said, I rated it 5 stars because there's nothing that I would change about this book. So I absolutely highly recommend this book because it's absolutely so excellent. The next book on this list is called Everything Blue. This book is a middle-aged contemporary following a young girl whose brother's disappearance turns her entire family upside down. This book is literally so good. I really enjoyed it, and I ended up rating it 4 stars, so I would highly recommend it. First of all, the plot was so intriguing, and it was so well done, and it just made me so emotionally invested in everything that was happening. Second of all, I was emotionally connected to all of the characters, and they all seemed so realistic and so three-dimensional and so distinct. This story deserves so much more hype because it is so well done, and I really enjoyed it because I was just so emotionally invested in everything that was happening. This book is literally so good, and it deserves so much more hype and so much more. It is just absolutely so excellent, and it's so well done. The free verse format of the story really helped bring everything to life, so we love to see it. Like I said, I ended up rating this book 4 stars, and I would highly recommend it. The last book on this list, but certainly not the least, because this book was one of my most anticipated 2021 new releases, and it is Wings of Shadow. For those who don't know, this is the 3rd book in the Crown of Feathers trilogy, and it was so good. I really enjoyed this book. Like I said, this book was one of my most anticipated 2021 new releases, so I had very high expectations for this book, and I will say that this book definitely lived up to those high expectations, and it was absolutely so good. This trilogy is literally so underrated, and it deserves so much more hype. This book is YA fantasy, and it's so well done. This author is so talented, and I love her writing so much. Her world building is so immersive, and it's so well done. The plot was so action-packed, and it's so fast-paced, and it's so intriguing. Her character development is so well done. The romances are so top-notch. They're so good. This book is so excellent, and it's so well done, and it's so brilliant, and it's just so awesome. I will gladly read more from this author in the future because she is so talented. Like I said, this trilogy is so underrated, and it deserves so much more hype, so I highly recommend it. So, in conclusion, my favorite books on this list were the 2 5 stars, Made You Up and Monstrous Design, and my least favorite book on this list was, by default, Phoenix Flame, since that's the only book on this list that I ended up rating 3 stars. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm trying my best to have captions on every single one of my videos because I know how important it is as a disabled person myself to make my content accessible to all disabled people. So don't worry, if this video does not have captions on it when you're watching it right now, it will soon, as quickly as I possibly can. So yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the cheese emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.